Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Sadiq Khan is going to court today. There's been a challenge to his expansion of the Ultra Low Emission Zone across virtually the whole of London. Imagine everything basically inside the M25 being part of that Ultra Low Emission Zone. And so all those cars that fail to meet it having to pay him £12.50 a day for the privilege. It's a way of raising money that he desperately needs to shore up everything that's going wrong for him. Well, there's at least 4 councils taking him to court and saying it's unlawful, and the 2-day hearing begins today. It's going to be an interesting result. We probably won't know it for a few days. The evidence will be presented over the next couple of days. The judge will go away and ruminate and then come back. But it is expected that it will be a victory for the councils. They think that ultimately they are outside, or the expansion is outside the remit of the mayor, is effectively what it's saying. And also the fact that it would ultimately damage trade in London. And this is the other thing that they're pushing against. But we'll take a look at the article, see where it's going, see what the expected results likely to be. And it will be joyous to see Sadiq Khan lose this. It will put him in his place, especially as there's an election for mayor coming up. We need him to be seen as inefficient and a bit of a loser. In that way, we can get someone else in who isn't a self-righteous prick, really. Anyway, here goes. So, Sadiq Khan's hated ULEZ expansion is brought to court today. 5 Tory-led councils bring a High Court challenge against London Mayor's unlawful plan to extend the capital's ultra-low emission zone that could see drivers charged £12.50 a day. Bexley, Bromley, Harrow, Hillingdon and Surrey began legal action in February. The £12 a day ultra-low emission zone is set to be expanded on August the 29th, raising, hopefully for him, billions of pounds a year that he can then spend on vanity projects to make him look good and keep his arse in the big chair at the town hall. Anyway, a High Court challenge by 5 Conservative-led councils against London Mayor Sadiq Khan plans to expand the ultra-low emission zone, and that'll be heard today. Now, here's the thing. Although the 5 councils in this case are all Conservative, there is undoubtedly a few Labour councils desperately hoping that these Conservative councils win. They can't be seen to challenge the Labour mayor, but it doesn't mean that they want the ULEZ in their zone. So they're like, oh yes, well, I'm going to take it away, blah, 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 blah. Please, God, please, God, please, let him win, let them win. You know, because, you know, they have what they the face they show to the public, and then the face they have hidden, because they're all two-faced, aren't they? But they've got to do that. It's the politics involved. But undoubtedly there will be Labour councils there going that they hope it's not expanded. Anyway, the outer London boroughs of Bexley, Bromley, Harrow, Hillingdon and along with Surrey County Council began legal action in February over the proposed extension. A judge at the High Court gave councils the go-ahead to bring the challenge in April. He was saying that part of the local authorities' challenges were arguable. In other words, what the local authorities are saying is that they, as the councils for those areas, they have the right. This is within their power, not within the mayor's power. And so they want to be able to say whether yes or no they go ahead with it. Now a 2-day hearing has begun before Mr. Justice Swift. He will be giving a ruling on a future date, but it is expected before the courts break for summer on July the 28th. The court was said to be packed, but Mr. Khan did not appear. No, not in person. He sent his representatives though. But it's he's expected to lose this, which is why he probably doesn't want to appear. Doesn't be seen on the site of the losers. So yeah, down on the Strand. I don't know why I was about to call it the Strand in London. Of course, there's no such place as the Strand. It's Strand. Royal Court of Justice is in Strand in London. Anyway, his ULEZ scheme has proven highly controversial, with critics claiming it does little to improve air quality and it has a negative impact on families and tradespeople who need to drive. And it is discriminatory. It's discriminating more against poorer people. And you'd have thought that the Labour London mayor would not really discriminate against the poor. And yet here we are. That's exactly what he's doing. It was launched in April 2019 by Transport for London, the capital's transport authority, to cover the same area as the congestion charge zone in central London, before being expanded in October 2021 to include the area within the north and south circular roads. Khan now plans to expand it on 29th to cover all of Greater London, with new borders reaching Buckingham, Essex, Hertfordshire, Kent and Surrey. That's an overreach if ever there was one. But he's desperate for power. He's desperate to be seen as someone that's got power and he can do this. And that's why he needs to have his wings clipped by the Court of Appeal today and tomorrow, as the court case goes on. Not the Court of Appeal, the High Court, to apologise. Anyway, if it goes ahead on that date, all drivers in all parts of London will pay £12.50 daily if their vehicles do not meet emissions standards. So therefore, punishing poor people, the ones least able to afford the £12.50. There's a word for that, isn't there? But I can't say it because if I did, I'll be off YouTube so fast my feet wouldn't touch. The Labour mayor, who was elected to a second term in 2021, although nobody knows why, ordered the move last November despite a public consultation suggesting most Londoners opposed it. Well, he's done the consultation, they've opposed it, he's gone, yeah, well, I don't listen to the Londoners, they're commoners, I'm in charge. You know, he's sitting up there like the bloody emperor, isn't he? Councils involved in the legal challenge believe relevant statutory requirements were not complied with, expected compliance rates in outer London were not considered, and the proposed scrappage scheme was not consulted on. They also claim the overall consultation process was not properly conducted and that there was a failure to carry out a cost-benefit analysis on the plan. The High Court has allowed the case to proceed on two grounds: the legal basis for the scheme and scrappage. And this will be argued on three grounds. And we'll go into these now because they actually are quite important, because this is where the meat of the case is. And one of them is actually completely the case they're going to win it on. Failure to follow statutory procedure under 23 of the Greater London Authority Act 1999. That first one is the one they're most likely, it's the one they're hanging the hat on. Second, unlawful and unfair consultation regarding expected compliance rates in outer London. That's more of an arguable case. And the unlawfulness regarding the scrappage scheme, including failing to consider a buffer zone, irrationality and inadequate consultation. Again, an arguable point. But that first one is actually a breach of a law. And that's the one that they think they're most likely to get it on. Ian Edwards, the leader of Hillingdon Council, said today, "We believe we can win this. The fact the court has granted us permission to challenge on three grounds gives us confidence they also see the flaws in TfL and the mayor's proposals." Well, there's a lot of flaws in all his proposals, but it's basically a power grab. It's an absolute power grab. He said, quite simply, with the harm our local economies face from the effects of the proposed expansion, we cannot afford not to fight them. Teresa O'Neill, leader of Bexley Council, added, "This is a great day for the coalition, but disappointing that it's had to come to this. We have called on the Mayor of London time and time again to stop his plans for the expansion. But he won't listen. He doesn't listen to anyone. He's an arrogant little sod. He seems to think that he knows best in every single thing and will brook no argument or any dissent amongst the ranks. He's quite ruthless about it." Baroness O'Neill added, "We know that extending ULEZ will have a detrimental effect on so many of our residents and businesses, while the phenomenal cost of bringing the scheme to outer London boroughs could be put to much better use elsewhere in the capital." Yeah, because you've got to pay for all these cameras and things, and then all the monitoring system, the extra staff involved, and all this, and that's got to be paid for, and that's an upfront cost. Now you have these guys going around London cutting them down all the time, and God bless you, tips hat, they don't want to be monitored all the time, so they keep cutting all these cameras down. And it's costing the Greater London Authority absolute millions. And the great thing is they've only got a set budget for it. So once they get to the edge of that budget, they can't replace the cameras. So keep going, guys. Keep going. You'll bankrupt them. They'll go boom, and they won't be able to afford to replace them. And then that'll be the end of that. Anyway, Matt Furness, the Cabinet Member for Transport, Infrastructure and Growth at the Surrey County Council, said, It is very disappointing that it's had to come to this. Our concerns have never been addressed by the Mayor, forcing these legal proceedings in order to have the voice of our residents heard. The Mayor won't listen, he won't respond, he knows best. The extension has prompted a fierce backlash from many living in and around the newly encompassed areas who face fines of up to £160 each day if they fail to pay. Self-employed builder Chris Fordham, 62, who owns a non-compliant 2012 diesel van, said, "It ain't right. They're hitting working class people again. I'm thinking about packing up work." And that's the problem. He's going to put a lot of people out of work. He's going to crash the economy. He's going to cause so much grief and make so many people impoverished. And he probably thinks he's doing a good job. It's time he went. Whoever comes in afterwards can't be worse than that arrogant little prick. And I'm stopping there and coming up. Now, I've done a video before about the Blade Runners. They're the guys that go around cutting down these cameras. They're still going. They're still doing it. They're still being heroes. Not all heroes wear capes. They don't. Hope they're wearing a mask though. Don't want to be seen. You know what I mean? You're dealing with cameras. Don't get your face on there. And they're the ones that are going to save London. I mean, this court case, hopefully they'll win the court case. But even if they don't, and it does go ahead and the expansion goes, ultimately it will be the Blade Runners of London that will be winning for the people of London. Because once the cameras are down and the budget's been met, they can't afford to put them back. And they've just got to keep on with it. Never give in. Never stop. Always be non-compliant. Never give him a victory. And it isn't just him, it's any of them. Whenever they try to take away your freedom and tell you it's for your own good, you know it's not for your good, it's for their good. So never, ever comply. And I will stop there. Thank you very much for watching my video. If you would like to subscribe, now is a great time. Right down there at the bottom would be absolutely wonderful. But definitely like the video, it helps with the metrics. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, if you fight hard enough, you will win, because the truth is on our side. Goodbye.